So this is going to be an interesting one because we have two Ice-o-matics side by side and they're both flashing exactly the same. So that can probably only mean one thing, that they experience the same thing, probably a water fault, water issue. So like I said, here's my error lights. It's red and yellow. Looks like double quick flash, which would be error 4. Unit has experienced max purge, but I actually think that it might be just error 3, max fill. Either way, any error state you're in, to clear the errors, you're just gonna press and hold both for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. So my errors are cleared, and then I'm just gonna hit the power button and see what happens. Kind of strange, but my water pump is turning, but it's not really doing anything. I'm not sure what state it's supposed to be in. The blue slow just means freeze pending. So we'll see what that is. So my machine shut off on error again, the same one. So we're gonna call it the max purge. And we're gonna reset that again. 2, 3. And then we're just gonna turn it on. I just open this up. So my purge valve and my water pump are both energized. Sorry if you can't see that. The 2 relays on the right-hand side, the lights are illuminated. That's water pump and purge valve. And for whatever reason, my water pump is not turning. It's not dumping the water. I think first thing I'm gonna do is check for voltage. All right, so this thing keeps on doing the same thing over and over again. I unplugged my connector right here from my water pump. I had turned it on. Water pump's getting 120, but no water is moving. It should be dumping, but even if it's not dumping, it should be going up here and then cascading down, but it's not doing any of that. So I played with this for a little bit and I'm having a little bit of difficulty trying to figure out what's going on, but I just talked to the customer. It turns out they just installed these. If you look right here, the voltage says it should be 220 to 230. My water pump is a 208 water pump, but I'm only measuring 120 when I test it. So what I did was on this control board, I wish it was a little bit brighter. These 2 pins, the first 2 ones, brown and blue, that is my line voltage. If I measure across these 2, if I just shove that in there and shove that in there, that, although you can't see it, should say 208, but it says 123. I think the issue is that they had small 120 machines, replaced them with bigger ones, and didn't upgrade the power source. So I'm waiting on a phone call. I decided to do the same thing to the left one over here, reset it, and my water pump's doing the same exact thing. It's just spinning. It's trying to work, but it doesn't have enough power to work fully. So I'm gonna chalk this up after I get my phone call. Chalk this up to new machines not getting the right voltage. So my power cord goes all the way down behind, and I'm never gonna be able to get down there and measure it. So I know that my cord goes in here. My blue and black are my line voltage. So if I measure across blue black and I don't get 208 and I get 120, then I know it's a voltage issue. So there we go. We got my leads over there, and just like I suspected, 120 looks like an install issue. So all done with that call. Is pretty simple. I originally thought that it was going to be a water issue when I showed up. Turned out to be a power issue, obviously, but because there was two machines side by side, I didn't realize at first that they were just installed. I thought that they had been there. So with two machines side by side experiencing the same issue, usually that points towards a water issue. Either they're both pulling off the same water filter and the water filter's clogged, or they're both pulling off the same water source and somebody shut it off, something like that. Or maybe the water had been shut off and it went off on error and they just couldn't figure out how to reset the machine. Those are kind of common things to see. So that's kind of where I was leaning at first. Obviously I was wrong. After I started getting 120 at my water pump and I was like, okay, well, my pump's getting 120. I was a little confused just because water pumps normally get 120, unless of course they're 208 machines. And like I was literally working right here, and right next to me was the tag that said, 220, 230. As soon as I saw that, then it clicked in my head, and talked to the customer, and the customer was like, oh yeah, they were just installed and they've never worked. When I was under the impression that they had been working and then they had shut down because there was ice in them, and customers were getting their drinks and whatnot. But he said no, they were filling them up manually and all that. So I guess I should have talked to the customer a little bit more at the beginning to get that info. Maybe my dispatchers should have got a little bit more info from the customer when they called in. That way, when I showed up, I kind of had a better idea of what route I was going to take diagnosing it. Either way, they're going to get it fixed. And so the contractor, construction company, whatever, is going to come out, fix the power, and they're going to be good to go. So I appreciate y'all watching. I hope that you got some value out of this, and possibly it helps you out in the future. See you next time.